Hey everybody, I went on a 3-day hunting trip this past weekend, and I hadn't planned on going by myself. At the last minute, one of my boys wasn't able to make it, and that is kind of tough. 3 days and 3 nights by yourself with no other people takes some mental preparation. So I knew it was going to be difficult, so I did a couple things that were game changers. Number one, I downloaded an audiobook to my phone so that I could, okay, wait a minute. I didn't actually download it. My TAs at school downloaded it because I couldn't figure out how to do it. But anyhow, I downloaded a book on my phone, first one I've ever had on my phone. And so then when I'm on the side of the mountain looking for deer, I put my headphones in and listen, and it was cool to have someone else's voice, talking to you out there by yourself forever. Game changer. Really cool to have that. The other thing that made the trip much nicer when I was by myself was my new little Garmin Inreach thing here. This thing allows me to text to Lacey, my wife, wherever I am. So I don't have to have cell service. So it texts to a satellite and then to her. And it's amazing. So I would text her like every evening just to know where I was, let her know that I was okay, and she would tell me what she was up to. Probably the bad thing about this though is that it gave me this feeling of invincibility, like I can go anywhere with this thing. I just, oh, by the way, look, it's got this little button right here. It says SOS on it, and you open this cap right here and it sends an SOS signal to this company, and they monitor everything, where you are, they talk to you through your phone, all sorts of cool stuff. So with this SOS button, I was thinking, man, I can do whatever I want, go wherever I want to, I'll be fine. Just hit the button, people will come and rescue me. But then I thought, that's not the case, because there's a couple things that happened on this trip that kind of opened my eyes. One thing was I had to cross a creek that was a pretty good sized creek. Well, last year when I crossed it, it was only about, shin deep. And this time when I went up to the creek, I noticed it looked deep. It had white water, and I thought, well, I gotta go anyhow. So I started across the creek, and I stepped into a hole that was up to my waist. And then I tripped. And so my head and my right arm did not get wet. Everything was completely soaked. My phone, my Inreach, they still worked. But then I thought later, you know what? This thing probably wouldn't help me if I was stuck underwater. So I should probably be careful. Later that day, I was hiking up the mountain, and I was going through an area that was burned trees, and I heard a tree crash and hit the ground. And I thought to myself, okay, I need to pay attention. I need to watch where I'm going. So it wasn't long after that, I was walking, and I heard behind me, I heard a big pop or a crack. And I turned around just in time to see this huge tree break and crash to the ground. And then I thought, you know what? This thing's probably not gonna help me in that situation either if it happens that fast. So, eye opener. Crazy thing is, later that day, I was going back down through that burned area, and it was just a beautiful spot, and I was looking at some deer, and I heard this popping noise, and I thought, what is that? What kind of animal does that? And then I noticed that right in front of me, this big tree was broken and was actually popping in the wind, breaking, getting ready to fall. So I went around the other way. So anyhow, technology, I couldn't believe it. It was a great trip by myself. It would have been better to have people with me for sure, but it's something I had to do by myself, had to get it done. I already bought the tag, so I had to go do it. And the audio book and the Garmin Inreach thing just totally changed it for me. It felt like I wasn't out there by myself so much. The last thing that was pretty crazy was, so I hadn't talked to anybody for 3 days, and I'm leaving on the last day. It was in the evening, and I'm coming down a mountain road, and I see a pickup coming up the narrow road. So I scoot my pickup over as far as I can and to wait there. This pickup comes up beside me. We wave at each other and it keeps going, but then it stops and it backs up. And I thought, oh, this person wants to talk about hunting. They come back, the windows roll down, and it's my childhood friend, Jim Gibson, there. And I have not seen him or talked to him in a long time. And his uncle, Doug Edwards, who is a great friend of my dad's. And here they are, the first people I see in 3 days. We got to visit for a couple minutes. It was really cool. And such a crazy thing. Here I am 4.5 hours from home, and the first people I see are good friends of mine, people that I know. So anyhow, thanks for listening.